Senator Anderson.
Mr. Chairman, on the license for the $1,000,
It's at the hour 45 now.
if a farmer decided he had a license and a farmer decided to retire and somebody else took your farm over, will that license go with?
The intent's not for it to be transferable, and I might have to refer that to Ledge Council, but we might have to.
And then also, is it a certain amount of acreage that limited to?
No limit on the number of growers or acreage that the processor
All right.
can contract.
And then on the crop testing too high, is it in the bill where that crop, that whole field, whatever they're going to harvest that day, is tested before it's harvested?
In the Kentucky rules, they have set up what I've looked at, and we've still got to set that up. But they test it within 15 days of harvest. That's when you want to wait as soon as you can, as close as you can to harvest date, because that's when the THC is going to be the highest. So they do it within 15 days, and then if it tests, over the limit, they go ahead. The farmer can go ahead and harvest the crop, dry it, and then but they can't transfer it off the farm until they get
Another test.
Another test if it's over.
Okay. And I think you answered part of my question, what you just told her. But if hemp's brought in here across the line, before they even load that load, we need to be verified it's been tested and it's not too
Right,
high.
and we want to hold them to the same standards we're holding our farmers to. We don't, not a 0.39 or 0.35, but we're at 0.3. We're going to require them to be at a 0.3.
Thank you. Senator Harper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When Senator Anderson brought up growers, I just wanted to ask you one question about that. I know in the bill it says you have to be a qualified agriculture producer defined in 48.8.3.3. So in other words, you have to be an active farmer in our state to be able to get a grower's license.
That is correct.
Okay, good deal. I'm for that.
Thank you. Any more questions? Senator Heath.
Without digging back into my notes, is $1,000 license for the farmer to produce the crop?
For the grower, that is correct.
What other crops in Georgia do you have to buy a license for?
I don't know of any other crops that has the potential to be an illegal crop, and that's the rub. And it just has to be tested. And that Department of Ag or who they contract with is going to have to go out there once or twice or more during the year to pull a test. So that's the reason for the $1,000.
Senator Harper.
Just for the committee, and going back to Senator Heath's initial question about the difference between marijuana and hemp, I know that you have in the code on 318 through 321 where if it doesn't meet the definition of hemp under our code, that they can turn them over to the AG or the U.S. Attorney's Office. I personally would be for actually strengthening that provision. I just wanted to throw that out there. I think even make a fine or even make it a misdemeanor if you are caught growing marijuana, or I think that's something that we need to have a conversation about. But obviously it would need to be outside of the THC ranges that we're discussing.
Yeah, it'd have to be way out. It wouldn't have to, 0.35 shouldn't do that.
That makes sure we're not criminalizing.
Right, if it was unintentional, no.
Yes, that's right. If it's unintentional, but I think that's a conversation we need to have to strengthen that provision.
Thank you.
Personally.
Senator Karencheck.
Just one last thing about the qualified agricultural producer. Why do we limit it rather than if I want to be a producer and I've got some acreage? Actually, I do, and maybe I want to go into the business. Why do I need to be a qualified agricultural producer?
Well, we're trying to make sure we're trying to help the existing